Hi, this is Minesh Baxi, and today I will be sharing with you the most important skill in achieving success. See, everybody wants to achieve success. The first part you and I need to do is define what success is. And success, most people would agree, is the progressive realization of a worthwhile goal or dream. So, first of all, you must have a goal or a dream that you're excited about, you're passionate about, and it's important to you, it's worthwhile. And then the second part about success is it is progressive realization. It's not that you have arrived, it's not that the journey is over. It's simply that whatever the goal you have, you are getting closer and closer to achieving it because there is really no end to that success. So we all want to be successful, but let's make sure it's in the context of what we want to achieve in the long run. And obviously, we have some small goals to achieve in the meantime as well. So now that we have defined success, which obviously is going to be relative to you and me, what is important for me is not important for you. And we just come to a conclusion that success is going to be an individual, relative thing. Then the next question is, what is the most important skill? Now, some of you may have some ideas on it, and I have my own idea on what's the most important skill. Because a lot of people think that we need to have what I would call is talent. Some people would call connections. Somebody would call money, etc., etc. And this way people feel those are the most important skills that you need in order to achieve success. In my mind, the most important skill is a little different. Now, to give you a context of where it comes from is there is a book which talks about mindset. There is fixed mindset and there is growth mindset. Interestingly enough, I find that after a while in life, most people tend to gravitate towards fixed mindset, while as kids, we tend to have more of growth mindset. So what is the difference between the two? And here is what I have found. People who have growth mindset are willing to learn, whereas fixed mindset people have felt that they've already learned what they need to learn. Now, what does that mean? They feel they've already learned everything about themselves. They feel that they already know everything about themselves, which means they think this is what they can or cannot do. And it's not really worth it for them to put in a lot of effort to learn something new. Whereas the people who have growth mindset tend to have a feeling that they can always learn more about themselves. There's always more in life that they can accomplish, and they are trending towards growth and not being in a fixed state. So let me give you the example of that. So a growth mindset person is willing to try, fail, learn from it, and try again. Whereas the person who has fixed mindset tendency, unfortunately, will not want to fail. And when you don't want to fail, you can't learn either. So imagine anything new you learned, any new skill that you developed in your life, it's very likely that the first thing you had to do was to try. Most likely you failed. You learned from your failure, and over a time period you tried, you failed, you learned, and you developed that particular skill in your life. So the point that I'm trying to make sure you and I focus on is at any given point in life, all you and I need to focus on is try, fail, learn, and try again. And if you and I go on that journey, you and I will be successful. But here is the problem. When you fear failure, when you feel you cannot learn from those experiences, you and I develop that fixed mindset which keeps us not growing, which means success becomes harder for those people who have fixed mindset versus those people who have growth mindset. So the next question you and I should ask is, how do you develop growth mindset? Now again, you can learn about a lot of different things, but here is the simple one. Courage. The only important skill towards success in the first stages is always going to be courage. Because courage is that overcoming of fear in order to try, in order to learn, and then succeed. So let's talk a little bit more about that process. Because people ask me, Minesh, what is the secret to success? Well, the secret to success is relatively simple, but it's not easy. So what is that secret to success? In my opinion, the secret to success is the courage to take consistent, probably daily, uncomfortable action steps towards a worthwhile goal or dream. So again, it's the courage to take uncomfortable steps. If you and I are not willing to take uncomfortable steps, which is the try, we will not fail, we won't learn, and obviously success will become harder for us to achieve because we fail to understand that that is the only way to get a new skill. So think of anything you learned in your life. And when you were young, you maybe learned how to ride a bike. And if you are like most people, you went on the bike, maybe used trainer wheels, or maybe you fell a few times, but you eventually learned what success feels like, which is having the balance and riding a bike. Now, if you're like me, trust me, it was not easy for me. In fact, I remember we used to have a bike which was much bigger than my size, and I could not, put my hands on both the handles bar there, and I was holding on to the bar which is in the middle. And my father one time helped me trying to teach me learning a bike. After a few minutes, he was so frustrated. You will never learn how to ride a bike. I still remember it. And that was when I was in 7th grade, which means it was 40 years ago. But that's still in my memory. And what that does, it prevents me from trying because somebody said to me, Minesh, you will never learn. And we attach a lot of authority to people in that case in our life. And if that's the case, guess what happens? You and I are going to be afraid to try. The more important part I want to make sure you understand is uncomfortable action step. Success does not come from doing the same thing which you are comfortable with. Because if it is worthwhile goal or a dream, it will take stretching. It will take learning new skills. It will require you to build good new habits, whether it is going to gym on a consistent basis. And whatever you want to achieve success in, the first step is uncomfortable. So recently I was asking one of my clients, who's a young 22-year-old excited lady, and I told her to take some uncomfortable action steps. Now you will not believe it. She went into Starbucks and she said, my business coach told me that I should ask you for a free cup of coffee. I mean, that was not exactly my recommendation, but she said that is uncomfortable. And she went and did that. Now, you may not believe this other part of it. She actually got a free cup of, in this case, it was some passion fruit tea or something like that. But the bottom line is she took the uncomfortable action step. I'm sure it was scary. There are other people in the line. They are paying for the coffee. They are paying for the tea. And yet she's the one asking for a free cup of coffee. So ask yourself, are you willing to take uncomfortable action steps? Now, if you and I are willing to take uncomfortable action steps, over a time period, we will achieve success. But here is the part. It has to be sometimes daily and extremely consistent. Because in life, there is something called compound interest. Whether you believe in compound interest in money, compound interest in effort, or compound interest in developing a skill, over a time period, whenever you do something consistently enough, it becomes easier and easier and easier. I remember a time when getting up in the morning wasn't as easy. Guess what? Over a time period, if you do it, it becomes easier. Exercising regularly was not simple and not comfortable for me. That is more comfortable for me today. Being in front of a group of people, speaking, recording like this isn't always easy and comfortable. But over a time period, you do it, it becomes comfortable. Because here is the part of it. If somebody else has done it, you and I can do it. Imagine the people who climb Mount Everest. Imagine the people who actually have been to the moon as an example. They do a lot of uncomfortable, scary stuff. What you and I have to do is a lot simpler, a lot easier in my opinion, but it is out of our comfort zone because that's where success lies. Success always lies outside of your comfort zone. Because a lot of people tell me, Minesh, I'm reading books, I'm going to seminars, I'm watching videos, I'm listening to audio podcasts and everything else. Is that what I need to do to develop myself personally? Well, those are good ingredients to start. But unless you reach a point where you're willing to and are taking uncomfortable action steps, that success is going to elude you. It is not going to be something which will help you reach your potential. Because what? Whatever you and I want, God has somehow designed it in a way that it will always make us stretch. We will always have to do something that we didn't do before or we weren't consistent at. And again, take a look at anybody who has achieved success. You will find that they were willing to do the uncomfortable action steps long enough consistently because they knew without it, they will not be able to achieve success. So where does it lead us back to? Courage. The most important skill in life in achieving success is going to be courage, because courage is the willingness to overcome whatever is stopping you, and it is always going to be something which is uncomfortable. And when you and I are willing to take that uncomfortable action step, and over a time period consistently enough, it's not just doing once in a while when you feel like it. No, it is consistent. And when you do it consistently enough, courage becomes a skill, not just a feeling, not just, oh, some people have it, some people don't. We all have courage because God has given us very clearly enough. But the challenge for us becomes when we are willing to just sacrifice our dreams because we are not willing to go through whatever it takes to achieve that uncomfortable feeling and taking that step. So my challenge for you is, what is that goal that is important to you? What is one uncomfortable action step you can take today? Whether it is asking for a sale if you're in sales, asking for a promotion at your job, learning a skill that doesn't come naturally to you. Guess what? If you are willing to take that uncomfortable action step today, and then tomorrow, and then tomorrow, and then tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, you will develop the skill. It will become easier. And then you can look back and say, I feel successful. I may not have arrived at my destination yet, but I am closer to achieving my dreams, and I'm becoming the person who can say that I'm achieving my dreams. So best luck to you in developing courage, because courage is a skill. Thanks again for watching. It's been a pleasure, and I know you and I can achieve results together if we focus on developing the skill that doesn't come always naturally to us, but over a time period, you and I know that uncomfortable feeling will become less and less uncomfortable, like getting up in the morning and so on. So thanks for watching. It has been a pleasure sharing this quick information. And I know some things are more comfortable, but guess what? Success is not where comfortable is. Success is where it is uncomfortable. So thanks again for watching here. This is Minesh Baxi saying goodbye, and I look forward to talking to you and seeing you again soon.